El octágono.
Matt, how you doing?
Oh, fantastic. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Now, this is the first time that I noticed that a lot of places have the nickname Deep Waters for your name. When did that happen? Because I didn't even notice when they started calling you Deep Waters.
Probably, I think it was 2010, maybe beginning in 2011.
Why'd you get that nickname? Like, is it because the fights always go to the deep waters, the deep end of the fights, or where'd that nickname come from?
Partly because the fights go into the later rounds, but not only that, usually what happens in my fights is the first round I might get beat up a little, but the second and third round, it seems like I get stronger as the fight goes on. So, usually when you fight me, you don't put me away in the first round, and I start beating the crap out of you the second and third round. So in the deeper waters, I get better. So, I got the nickname Deep Waters, and I really don't get tired. So that's another thing. I'd never get tired. So when you fight me, you're probably going to get tired, and you're in deep water.
Definitely, and we have seen that from you, your conditioning, and you being able to go deep into the rounds and end up coming out on top. Now you have this fight with Che Mills in London, England for UFC on Fuel TV 7. What preparation have you done? Have you had to do anything specific or special to have to prepare for somebody like Che?
Che, he's a good fighter. He's got a good record. He's really good on his feet. He's good at knocking people out,
Yeah.
So, I take that into account. I'm not one of those guys that thinks I'm going to walk over people, because I'm not. I fight the fight, and that's what it is. But I know Che Mills is dangerous on his feet, and I know he's not too dangerous off his back. So I'll probably put him on his back and deliver some punishment, and then maybe let him back up to his feet to, make it exciting.
Now, leading into where you are right now, obviously, I don't know how much you want to get into it. You had a recent overturn in your record book. What's the status right now with all of that? I mean, are you okay with everything going on right now?
I'm fine with it personally. The Calgary Commission, I popped for marijuana, when I fought in Calgary, because Joe Silva asked me to take a fight on like a week and a half notice, and I did. He asked me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I quit smoking, but I still ended up testing positive. And then the Calgary Commission thought it was acceptable to release my medical information to the public. So, so that's, now everybody knows I smoke pot. And at first I was a little embarrassed because, I'm a professional athlete. I don't want people to know, like, I smoke pot. That's my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I've embraced it now, and I really don't care, because it is who I am. And it's kind of nice to be myself and be honest, compared to kind of telling white lies and trying to be somebody else that I'm not. And bottom line is, my name's Matt Riddle. I fight in the UFC, and I smoke pot. That's what I do.
That sounded like a PSA.
People can hate it, but that's what it is,
And I had a question for you, because we've actually mentioned this before in the show, and fighters, you guys are celebrities, man, and you guys are put in the limelight. And there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. Like, for example, with you, like they expose to the world that you smoke pot, and some fighters, they might get stalkers. Has this been like the worst experience as a celebrity?
At first, like I said, I was embarrassed. I didn't like the fact that they released it, because I kind of had like pretty, people assumed, but I had a pretty clean-cut image, And then when they exposed it, I was upset, but honestly, I probably got 5 times as many fans now, and probably thousands upon thousands of more people relate to me, and they like me more now because they know where I come from, and they understand where I come from. And you know what, let's be honest, if you asked every person in America or any person in the world, hey, have you ever smoked pot? I would say like 80% would say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then probably like 65% smoke on a regular basis, So honestly, I don't care anymore. I honestly think it was a blessing, because I can finally be myself. I don't have to worry about what I say in interviews. And I don't think the UFC likes it too much, But the bottom line is, I fought in Calgary. The Calgary Commission released my medical information, and now I have to deal with it, and I'm going to deal with it my way because it's already out there, and I'm going to deal with it my way, and I think that's what people like about me.
Yeah, and I mean, it's no secret that like Joe Rogan smokes, Nick Diaz. So I mean, it is acceptable to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, like the fighters, they have the harsher rules because you guys are actually competing and all that stuff. But like you said, I mean, it's more common than I guess what people make it seem like.
Exactly, and honestly, the one thing I think a lot of like the UFC and everybody gets upset with, I can tweet a picture of me chugging a bottle of Jack Daniels with a pistol in my hand because it's legal. But God forbid if I posted a picture of me with a bong in my hand smoking weed. That would just be taboo. But, honestly, I personally, the way I was brought up and the way I think, marijuana's never killed anybody. Nobody's ever smoked too much and died or ate too many brownies and died. You know what I'm saying? So for them to tell me that, it's illegal, it's bad, don't talk about it, don't do it, blah, blah, they can go eat one because I'm going to keep doing what I do. And look I'm in the UFC. I've been in the UFC since I'm 22. I'm 8-3, even though my record says 7-3-1. You can ask me. I'm 8-3. I got submission of the night to prove it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I'm a happy dude. I got a loving family. I got a great wife, and I just, I rock it.
Now, obviously, one of the main things that happens with anything that has to do with the drug test is usually they consider things performance enhancing, and I found it kind of hard to believe that some would actually imagine that marijuana was actually in any kind of way a performance enhancer. I mean, what were your thoughts when the Nick Diaz situation happened? They said, it helped. It could have helped him during the fight. He can take more punches because he doesn't feel it because he's on it and all that stuff. Like, what was your mindset with those kind of things?
Well, to be honest, it's ridiculous. It's offensive to the fighter because the reason they say, they say marijuana is a performance enhancer. And the reason guys like me can't be on it or use it, it's a performance enhancer. We can take more punishment and this, that, and the other thing. And that's why we can't use it. But in the same respect, they'll let guys like Vitor Belfort, who I like, Forrest Griffin, who I like, and Chael Sonnen, who I like, they let those guys take testosterone replacement therapy. And basically now they're like 30 years old, and they have the testosterone of an 18-year-old boy, an 18-year-old man who's just hitting puberty. And then you saw Vitor kick Bisping's head into like the third row in Brazil, and his levels were high for testosterone. He was using steroids because that's what testosterone is. It's steroids, and it's okay because he had a doctor's note. And it's not, but if you ask me, I would rather fight somebody who's been smoking pot and, training rather than somebody who's on steroids and training. I think you're putting me in a dangerous situation when you allow other athletes to use steroids because they have a doctor's note, and I can't use my medical marijuana just so I can sleep and get a good night's rest before a fight. So, honestly, man, I wish I knew the answer to solve it, but it's a riddle. I don't know what to say.
And then thanks for the pun there, too. But and the last thing I wanted to ask you, obviously, you've had the fortune of traveling before for fights. You've gone to Manchester, England. You've flown for Montreal, Quebec before, too. Flying over to London, England, is there any preparation you do specifically for the flying part of it, to avoid jet lag and to avoid any kind of air sickness or any of those things? Because we've seen it affect fighters before. Is there anything special you have to do to avoid it?
Well, I don't really get air sick unless I'm hungover, so I don't have to worry about that until the Sunday when I fly back, because I'll probably puke on the flight then. But that doesn't matter. But what I do, when I go to London, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's literally, I think it's 8 time zones, so it's an 8-hour difference in time. So basically, if it's 8 o'clock here, it's 4 o'clock in the morning there.
Yeah.
So basically what I do is I found out when I'm fighting, I'm the first fight on Fuel, so I fight at 8 o'clock at night in England, which is 4 o'clock in the morning here. So, I stay up pretty late, so I've been staying up till about 4 or 5 in the morning. I wake up and, I do my thing. I basically got my sleep pattern on London time. So when I go there, yeah, I'll probably be a little jet lagged, but at least the 8-hour time difference won't mess me up.
Definitely, definitely. Well, we can't wait to see this fight. I mean, it's going to be a great fight. We've seen a lot of improvement out of you as of late, and it's really great to see that. And at the same time, facing Che Mills, we know it's going to be a great matchup. And just to remind the people, it's going to be on UFC on Fuel TV 7. You're going to be on the prelim card on the Facebook part of the card, and that's going to be straight from.
Oh no, you are mistaken.
Oh,
I'm
you
on
moved
the
up?
main card.
They moved you up then.
Oh, I've been moved up.
That's right. You're the first card on the first fight on the main card, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, you're gonna be on the first fight of the main card, and that's fantastic. Like, how do you feel now with the Fox deal and now being able to fight on a channel like Fuel and as part of that Fox network?
Honestly, man, I really don't care. As long as I get on TV, that's where the money's at. I get paid more in sponsors, and I can actually showcase my skills to the world. Well, like, when I first got in the UFC, I think my first, 6 fights, none of them were even on TV, let alone, you'd have to buy them from the UFC online. That was the only way you could see my fights.
Yeah.
So, to be on Fuel, FX, Fox, pay-per-view, I'm just happy that they actually are putting us on TV now, because it kind of stank when we were all, world-class fighters, and half of us aren't on TV just because we're not on the main card, even though we're all at the same level. So.
Definitely. Now, where can fans follow you if they want to follow you on Twitter, Facebook, or even if you have a website that you want to give the followers to be able to keep up to date with you?
Yeah, I wasn't cool enough to get the website. I worked on it. Didn't work out too well. But I got a Facebook and Twitter. If you look up Matthew Riddle on Facebook, you'll find me. And then on Twitter, it's at Riddle TUF7. And right before a fight, everything gets pretty crazy. So I've just been doing my thing. And if you write to me, I'll write back. I'm a good guy. So.
That's a good thing. I know a lot of the fans love the interaction with the fighter. But, Matt, we appreciate the time, man, and we can't wait to see this fight go down. You're going to be on the main card of the Fuel TV 7, on the Fuel portion of it, and facing Che Mills. It's going to be a great fight. And, again, thank you so much for the time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Para estar más informado, visita www.enoctagono.com.